Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this episode of Second Home. Today's event is all about the continuation of the celebration of the International Music Festival here in Kuwait. The National Council of Culture, Arts and Literature of Kuwait organizes these festivals of different countries that come to Kuwait and celebrate the International Music Festival. For tonight, it's the Republic of Guyana. With a conversation from the ambassador of Guyana to the glimpses of the event, we hope you enjoy today's show as the one-man steel band Michael George performs. We hope to have conversations with him too, and so you can know them a little more closely. We hope you enjoy tonight, so stay with us. To introduce to all of you His Excellency Professor Dr. Shamir Ali. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's an honor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Greetings to listeners in Kuwait and globally. It's a delight, joy, and honor to spare a few moments with you.
Whatever little I know about you is extremely impressive. I would love to know about your background. Where do you come from? Where would you say you come from?
I was born in British Guyana. Then Guyana became independent in 1966, May the 26th, then became Guyana. I was part of the team that helped negotiate for Guyana to be independent at Lancaster House in England. After independence, I headed a number of I worked with a private enterprise, Booker McConnell. British Guyana then was known as Booker Guyana. They owned everything. I was being trained to be one of the leaders after independence with Bookers. And so the new government, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, asked me to serve in the government. I told him I didn't want any job in the government. I was happy where I was. I was eating salt and rice and I was comfortable, didn't want anything else. He says, you have to do something. So I promised him I'll do special projects. Okay. So he had me served on special missions around the world to decide the name of Guyana. And Guyana at that time was going through the phase of experimenting with cooperatives and socialism after the days of colonialism. Right. And so I made a number of private missions overseas, and also I served at the Insurance Society. I was a deputy chairman of the Kuru College. I was the lotteries chairman. I was chief cook and bottle washer. I know I had 3 drivers. I was going round the clock 20 hours a day. Oh my God. And because of my numbers financial background, I was always prepared. And many times I'm the deputy chairman, I have to think like the chairman. And when the chairman doesn't come up, I'm ready to serve. So it's been fun along the way.
You say fun, but I'm really trying to figure out, when do you really sleep? I mean, this is so exciting, and with just 20 hours of working, no sleep. How do you manage that?
It's simple key organization. If you have an organization and a system, you do it once, you can handle 10, you can handle 100, you can handle 1,000. The key is to maintain that discipline. So long as you have that right, volume is immaterial.
How was your experience with President Bush?
President Bush one was a touchy, classy president. I saw him in the 90s, and he was a touch of class, very trained, very experienced, very knowledgeable, very humble. We seem to have lost that style of leadership with the days gone by. Some arrogance comes in leaders, the younger leaders, but very classy gentleman. And Barbara was a tower of strength that kept him in touch. I remember those days with General Colin Powell, and First Lady Barbara will keep the president in touch, and she didn't hesitate. A very strong lady. So yes, he was a gentleman leader, classy.
There's this very cliched statement about a woman behind every successful man. What about you?
Well, I've got Dr. Marianne, and she keeps me on my toes. This concert here is her conceptualization to make sure Guyana, South America is focused, and it's 90% hers, or even 95%. I'm just 5%.
Oh, you're modest. You're a good husband.
This is the truth, and I've had strong women around me. I've interfaced with them, and so it doesn't matter, man or woman. It's an individual. Your skills, it what gets my respect.
Wow, we need more men like you. Thank you so much. I'm hoping to also catch a conversation with Marianne. And but tell us about tonight and the event tonight. What are your expectations?
You will have quite a challenge because Marianne is a trained public speaker, but she has kept a low profile in the media. So that will be a star itself for you able to get her. Well, tonight we've decided to bring the Caribbean, the joy, the music, or happiness or joy through the steel pan. Way back in the 1877, steel pan was brought to the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago with the Africans. And nation was poor in the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago found oil, and discarded oil drums were cut off at the top. And notes of the music was chiseled with a hammer and a chisel to make musical notes to keep the nation's people happy. That has now evolved, and we now have orchestras. I personally had a single pan. I'm not a music person, but I enjoyed the steel pan music. It's one of the music that turns me on and makes me happy. I had a single steel pan with all the music notes on the pan. I do not know music. I use the Excel spreadsheet. All the musical tones were written in block markers, and I'll have my mallet and read my Excel spreadsheet and play all day, all night Marianne, Banana Boat Song, and song. Simple. You see, so long as there's a will, everything is possible. I enjoy the music, and I wanted to do. We moved from New York to Pennsylvania. The steel band survived, but it did not survive. We downsized a number of times. And the steel pan is now teaching 100 students in a school in Pennsylvania. They always wanted a steel pan, single pan, and so that's where it is. So it's a delight and joy to be here to bring a little bit of Caribbeanness, which again is part of the Caribbean. We're all English-speaking colonies, and this is our music. Steel pan is our music.
Steel pan. Music does have a way to help survive whatever situation one is in, and it also has this way of reaching out to people because language isn't a barrier with music. So I love what you said about music, and I also love to see this side of you about how you've enjoyed your music, and I love your message about if there's a will, there's a way. That's a great message.
Yes. And there's another easy one. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you're hungry for anything, just go after it. And as I tell you that, a story just flashes to my mind. I'm a born Muslim, went to Christian schools my whole life. Came to the USA. I wanted to teach at a Christian university, an MBA class. 6 times I knocked at the door and was told, "Niet, no." Most people would have given up. Recurring decimal. Went again. They accepted me. I taught 7 subjects. Normally persons 1, 2, 3, 7 subjects, 7 years. And even went and did a semester at Romanian American University in Romania. So the lesson is reinforcement. You have to, if you're really hungry for it. Not only that, I was able to get the late Benazir Bhutto to be the guest speaker at a Catholic university, DeSales University, Pennsylvania, unheard of, 2 years before she passed away. I even have her autograph on the program that I showed the Pakistani people. That's her picture. I know her. We met her. She was there. We arranged. So this goes to lessons. Things happen for a reason. Similarly, this concert. We applied on 13th of August. My wife did on my birthday. We waited 1 year. Then suddenly everything happened fast and furious. The band himself, Michael George, he played at a concert for me in Pennsylvania way, way, way back in the 80s. I kept his business card. I traveled all over. When Marianne had the idea, his business card came up. I reached out to him. He said that was a miracle to find out I still remember him and can reach him. So things have a way. There is a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah.
You're
You
such an
have to be a
inspiration.
believer, though. You have to be a believer. Whatever it is, you have to believe in the goodness of the great God.
What a beautiful message. Thank you so much. This was a great conversation. I'd love to hear more from you in any other occasion. I do understand this event is probably about to start, so I'll take your leave now. But is there any message other than the great ones you've already given? Is there anything else you'd like to tell your audience tonight?
Just to say today is a most memorable day. On August the 4th, 1990, was the end of the two-day invasion. So as we celebrate today in our program, we will remember the martyrs and the patriots who gave their lives along with the daringness of His Highness the Emir, the ruling families, all the sheikhs and sheikhs in public life and private life, all those who sacrifice so we can enjoy today in this beautiful country. Also yesterday, the visitors are staying at the Marina Hotel, and I had a chance to go at the veranda. And when I looked at the skyline, my whole body trembled to know what 28 years has accomplished with vision, team, resources, and execution. It was a joy and delight. So the lesson is thanks to His Highness the Emir, all the NCCL executives, the entire group of Kuwaitis who make Kuwait. 114 embassies are in Kuwait, a small nation. 193 nations in the Big Apple, New York. You can imagine, that alone tells you the kindness of this great nation and its people. That must always be recognized.
Absolutely. On that note, we love Kuwait.
Yes, we all do. Long live Kuwait, long live the Corporate Republic of Guyana, long live all the great leaders of the world. Inshallah.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Michael George, an artist who's come straight from Guyana to Kuwait to participate in the music festival here in Kuwait. Thank you so much for joining us today.
The pleasure is mine, it's all mine. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here in this beautiful country of Kuwait.
Thank you. Kuwait appreciates music, culture, art, and that is the whole reason behind this festival that we're celebrating, the music festival, which Guyana is a part of now, thanks to you. So thank you so much for coming. But tell us about your passion for music. How did it start? How old were you when you knew you had the music bug in you?
Well, I started around 15 years when I heard this beautiful music coming out of these 55-gallon oil drums, and I knew that I had to learn how to play these instruments, and then it started from there. I found this band it was around the carnival time, and I went to listen to them, not to play, but one of the guys had asked me which instruments I was interested in playing, and I told him the one that I was standing next to, and he taught me, and it was from there that I...
And what instrument was that?
That was the tenor bass, and I have switched from that to playing the cellos, which is the 3 pans you are seeing below, and the 2 on top, which is a different steel drum instrument, which is the double second or alto pans. Yeah.
Were your parents also into music? Did you have any exposure before this?
No, I did not have any exposure before this. I'm the only one in my family who is deep into the music. Yeah.
But what I hear from and what I see is you are a one man show. Like you play so many instruments simultaneously, which is a unique talent that you have here, which is what the audience is going to see. So how did that come about, and how do you manage? I know one instrument itself can be so difficult to play to make sure the notes are right. So how I can't even conceive of what goes on in your head while you're playing so many together.
Well, I was performing at a restaurant in the Arlington, Virginia area, and it came in my mind to try to do something different from everybody else. So then I started adding on instruments. But it took a while for my brains to get used to everything. It took a while. Even the maracas that I have on my ankle that I invented, it took below my feet over a year to, to, to get that stamping, because below your feet is so tender. So it took a while for below my feet to get accustomed to be stamping like that.
You know, I was meaning to ask you when you were walking up here, I noticed that on your feet, and I was wondering what that is. Is it like an exercise thing, a gym? But you're creating music out of those two. Wow. So your feet, you've not left your feet either. It's your hands, your mouth, your feet, everything that you can use goes into playing music.
Yes, that's correct.
That's incredible. And you came up with this yourself.
I came up with this myself. This is my own invention.
You get these inventions while you're sleeping, because that's when most inventions come into place. Do you get dreams about it?
Sometimes I'm just walking and I meditate, and these things comes up in my mind. And
You know what? I absolutely believe in that. Most huge inventions do come in a state of rest, and meditation can definitely be one of those very restful states. So I absolutely recommend, thank you for bringing that up, because I absolutely recommend meditation for all of us. And so yeah, you have one tip from here. All our audience has this tip. But tell us about Guyana. What do you think of that as a country?
Guyana is a very beautiful country. You know, all over. It's the whole of the Caribbean is beautiful. Guyana, Trinidad, you know, all the islands, Grenada. In the Caribbean islands, is very, very beautiful.
I love what you're wearing here, because it shows this very Caribbean, attitude and ambience, and it's you. I'm already in the mood just looking at you.
Thank you, and that's the atmosphere that I want to project. Show people how happy we are in the Caribbean islands. And yeah.
Is this your first time in Kuwait?
This is my first time. I hope it's not my last time. I would like to visit a little more often, yes.
Were you able to get a few glimpses of Kuwait yet?
Yes, I did. Not as much as I would like to. So I'm saying maybe tomorrow I hope I get to go around a little more. Yeah.
Yes, because I think just before your audition, just before your performance, your entire focus is really on how to do best during your performance, right? Do you meditate before your performance?
Yes, I do. And that is so true. You are so right about that, because it's so much things are going through my mind, and I have to split my mind in so many different ways, because everything must be right in time. Everything must be precise timing. Yes.
So other than Kuwait, do you visit and travel to perform other places?
Yes, I went to Kosovo, but with a group a couple of years ago to perform. We went to play for the troops over there. And I also play with a group also by the name of Kaiso Steel Band. Yeah.
So you perform solo and in a band. And what do you enjoy more?
I love playing by myself, because I'm doing something different from all the other steel drum players. So I love playing by myself, yes.
And it does also give you the freedom to express what you have playing in your head or your heart, I should say heart. So you would say music is in your blood, right?
Yes, yes, I will. You are so correct about that. Yes.
Tell us about anybody that you are thinking of today. If there's you want to give a shout out to a friend or anybody back home, this would be a nice opportunity to do that.
Well, I'd like to shout out to my family, my wife, my two daughters. My family is my biggest support with what I'm doing because of doing something different, So they have supported me, and I thank them greatly. I would like to shout out to all my friends in the band, and I would like to shout out to a lot of my friends on the job, my job, who made this trip possibly for me, to help me with my stands, my cases for my instruments. So I would like to thank these guys on my job.
Beautiful. We wish you the very best for tonight. I wish you all the success. You'll see the Kuwait crowd loves music and entertainment. You'll enjoy. I'm sure you'll enjoy your performance, and I hope this is a memorable evening for you.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoyed the music. Thank you so much.
It's now time to introduce to all of you Dale George. He's the man behind all of the organization of this very talented artist, Michael George. Welcome to our show.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Good. So you're the one who assists Michael George with all of his trips, his music, and every other thing.
Yes, I'm the one who does all the corresponding with the emails as well as the contract and the invoices.
I see. I'm sure it's challenging to work with artists, musical artists. I've heard very good artists are also sometimes a little bit eccentric and they have their own moods. Have you faced any challenges?
Well, luckily enough, I have a couple of years of working with Michael, so I know when he's tired, frustrated, and I know how to work around that to help him go on with the event to perform on tasks that he likes.
If I may ask, are you related to him in any way?
Yes, that is actually my father.
He is your father. No wonder you have those genes then. Great. So are you into music as well?
We tried, it didn't work out.
So yeah, that gene did not pass off. You have other siblings?
Yes, I have two younger siblings, two sisters, Tamika and Takia George. They're phenomenal in music. They definitely got the genes.
Oh, they got it. So are they here in Kuwait?
No, unfortunately, they're back in the state currently right now.
I see. You want to say hi to them? This is your chance.
Yes, I'd like to say hi to Tamika, Takia, and also Beverly George.
Oh, we all miss you here. It's a grand night, and I'm sure tonight is going to be a great performance by your father. So we'll be missing you, but meanwhile, more conversation with Dale. So tell us about your journey with this. What kind of challenges do you face? You said because you understand your father well, it is easier that way to help him.
Yes, sometimes it could be a little small thing that direction to a location to a particular venue, or as we see yesterday, the instruments. One of the things about traveling international is that the electronics devices may not work, and it's always good to have that rehearsal to see what's working, what's not working, and how to fix it. So once you identify the problem, then you find the solution. So that's sometimes the issue, but we overcome it and move forward.
You know, you do seem like the kind of person who would maintain his calm and wouldn't panic in a situation like that. Would you call yourself like that?
Yes, because growing up, I always was taught that worries can't solve a problem. You need to identify the problem and look for a solution. Because if you're panicking, that's not helping no one.
Right. Easier said than done, because I know these kind of events can be very overwhelming, especially because you're arranging for a huge crowd who's coming, and there's a lot of expectation. So
Yes, that's definitely true. But like I said, just stepping back for a moment and just trying to calm yourself. It sounds easy to say, but it takes a lot of practice, though.
right. What about along with challenges also comes joy, because when the event is successful, like I'm sure you've had many before, talk to us about the joy that comes with it.
Well, to me, there are two parts. The one part actually performing for the audience and seeing their face, to seeing how pleased they are. Another part is the completion of the event. When you see that if you've done it and you see how it turns out, then it's almost like a pat on the back for yourself, saying, I did it. And you can prove to yourself you can go forward and do bigger events because you've taken on the task of that first event.
Right. I like how you've put split between those two, because it's one thing that your audience enjoyed and another thing to feel satisfied that you've done well. Because sometimes I feel like sometimes when I do stuff, I feel like the audience has enjoyed, I get a lot of praise, but there's this part of me that thinks I could have done so much better.
Oh, definitely. You definitely want to review what you've done and see how you can improve on that, because you're never perfect and you always want to do better the next time. So that's definitely something we do. We look at our videotape to see if, there was a note missed or if there was a chance to do something different. And then we use that toward our next event to make sure it was a better show.
And what your dad does is really unique. I mean, this is not something that is generally practiced with the steel drum, right? So how was it difficult for people to accept that at first? Or?
Yes, because a lot of time people who may know steel drums are just used to the traditional maybe double seconds or get the traditional three pan. And my dad decided one day that he wanted to be outside the box and take it a step further. So it's definitely a lot of his colleagues were kind of surprised and taken back and like wondering, what are you doing? And he saw the vision and he was like, I have a vision and I'm going to follow through. So,
Wow, you must be really proud of him.
oh, definitely.
I mean, to take this vision and go for something that people around you may not be completely understanding what it is can be a daunting experience, because you doubt yourself a bazillion times before you can actually succeed.
Exactly, because oftentimes when you listen to others who have negative views on it, it definitely plays a role in your head. But you have to remember it's your vision, and only you can succeed or fail on your own.
Right there is a great message for our audience. I loved what you said. If there's anything else you'd like to tell your audience here in Kuwait, this is your chance.
Thank you for your great hospitality. I love Kuwait and hope to be back soon.
Thank you so much for talking to us. We are now in conversation with a very enthusiastic guest here of tonight. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
Hudson Fernandez, tell us, what brings you here to this event tonight?
Well, enthusiastic musician as myself, being born and raised in Kuwait, I just love the music industry. And what brings me to this particular event is music from Guyana. Is back in the days, India and Guyana had foreign trade, and they adapted their music. So today, with the local music and the Guyana music, putting the drums and the steel drums together, it's very fantastic to see them all perform with the fusion of a mix in Kuwait. And it's a very good, we're having such performances in Kuwait, so that the rest of the world can partake and see the beautiful traditions of two countries mixed together.
I believe you play the drums yourself, right?
Yes, I'm very passionate. I've been playing since I was, I don't know, I like to say 11 years old.
Okay.
And this is what I've been doing. It brings all the communities together. Music is a very international language, no matter of where they come from, but it gives us all and puts everybody together.
Absolutely. And I believe you're also sending it down to your bloodline.
Yes, I have two children who are also very enthusiastic, one on the keyboards, one on the drums, and fortunately, I'll see a family band one day.
Wow, that's neat. Any shout out you'd like to give to your friends or anybody you would like to have or you miss this evening?
Well, all those who have missed it, believe it or not, you're going to miss a fantastic show, a fantastic fusion between local music and Guyana music. And I hope they put a little bit of twist and use some kind of, the oud in between as well, give it an Arabian twist.
Oh, that's
So,
very nice.
yeah, that'll be amazing.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed our show today. It was a little bit of learning experience for me as well, to learn about Guyana, the beautiful country that it is on the northern side of South America. With its beautiful landscape, its music, and its culture, it is definitely one of my places to visit next. A conversation with the ambassador himself and the brilliant artist who's there, very talented one-man show, Michael George. Until next week, when we get something brand new for all of you from the team of Kuwait TV2, stay blessed.